fellow Sim Historians. Welcome back to my Victorian Sims 2 challenge. Are you guys as obsessed with Emma and Edmund as I am after that? That was so cute. Okay, I'm really enjoying creating those little vignettes at the beginning of the episode, so I think I'm going to keep doing them unless anyone has any major complaints, but I think they're really fun to create. So welcome back to the Jung household. Things are a little bit chaotic here. Nellie Grace is currently working as a costermonger, and we have a pair of newlyweds. So we actually got a pretty good dowry from Emma Price. And so we built their bedchambers above the winery. They have a really nice little private space, and we've got Emma in her more grown-up attire. It's technically a little bit of a marriage down, but they're all still in lower middle. It's just that the Jungs won't be able to provide the full 12,000 for their dowries, so it's not necessarily an equal match. It's fine. I mean, we got a good bit of money. So Mr. Harvey, who is also a costermonger, came home from work with Nellie Grace today, and we're kind of thinking about planning an arranged marriage with some of their kids. We haven't fully decided who we want to marry, but we're kind of thinking Mary at this point because Mary is a teenager. Finally, our wine is ready to bottle. I'm so excited. This is the first time I've really been using the wine. So guys, look at it. They're actual wine bottles. All right, so it's Bertram's birthday. Bertram looks just like Mary. I don't know what's happening with his genetics, but they are adorable and they look just alike. But Mary is still kind of angrily working around the house. I mean, I think she's a little happier than maybe she was last episode, especially with the happiness about the wedding and everything. Everyone's definitely feeling like they're in good moods and just quite happy. So Ada Margaret Price comes over to see her daughter, and unfortunately she's not particularly happy. I think she's a little bit disappointed that Emma's new outfit as a married woman is a little bit homely, but she works on a vineyard, that's all she can do. And so she does decide to come buy some wine from us, I don't know. And it's also Jonah's teenage birthday, so we've got a lot of birthdays happening today. He actually doesn't really look very much like his other siblings. I think his nose is definitely his father's, Rodney, but otherwise he looks quite different from Mary and Bertram. So I'm kind of thinking pleasure sim for him. I don't know. I don't really have a good sense. So it's 1 a.m. Everyone is currently asleep in the house except for Mary. So Mary heads over to the church by herself. This is St. Philip's Parish. We've spent quite a lot of time here recently. And who else should appear but Arthur Westerfield? So last rotation with these two, they spent a lot of time chatting among the graves in a very Mary Shelley-esque experience. And they actually became pretty good friends after that day by the graves. So Mary actually decides to meet him out here by herself, which she shouldn't be doing. That's very, very improper. But yeah, I mean, Arthur would have had the keys to get into the church, to get in through the gate, so they're able to have access to this church by themselves. I don't know how Arthur snuck out. Oh, she's got a crush on him? I guess that explains why she snuck out at 1 a.m. Although, look, Mary has had a bit of an interesting mental health experience. Oh, they're making out in the snow. Okay. They're in love? Honey, this is the second time you've actually been around him. This is very inappropriate, Mary. Oh my god, does anyone else feel uncomfortable right now? Because yikes. Okay, well, as you can see, Mary's got a very, very happy face coming back to the piano here. And also, we have good news. Emma has a little pregnancy bump. That means we are on our way for actually like generation 3 and catching up with the other families. We've really maintained equilibrium with the other families quite well, which makes me super happy. I think everyone can actually see that there's like something different about Mary, and they're probably thinking it is because of the wedding. The next night, she snuck out again and barely comes home at 4 a.m. But luckily, her brother thinks that she's just, going to work in the vineyard. But when everyone else is really getting up, she climbs back into bed and goes to sleep because she has been out all night. She is exhausted. I mean, it's a tricky situation because she knows that she does not have a dowry that would be able to match the Westerfields. The Westerfields are lower middle class, kind of on the lower end, so they're technically of the same station. However, Arthur is the heir to the parsonage, and she's not got really any dowry. Her dowry is about 300 simoleons, which is the smallest dowry that we have engaged with so far in this challenge. So we are able to actually sell quite a lot of wine. I mean, we've filled our rack completely. So we sell some of that, and we actually add in some new grapes so that we can grow even more grapes and sell even more wine, because it's the first day of spring in the family here. It's time for generation 3. I'm so excited with how fast things are moving. I mean, granted, we have like 4 babies in generation 3, so it's not like we're actually progressing that far. But, ooh, okay, I like that we've had just like 1 baby for the last few births. That's a relief. I don't want quads. I never want quads. Why do I even have that mod? It's fine. All right, so we're gonna name him Peter Herman, and Peter is the heir to the Jung household. We have a boy. Listen, this brings me no joy. This is not what I intended to happen this episode. Emma was supposed to live until she was an elder. Emma rolled a mortality rate to die as an elder. As you can see, things are not going well. Jonah and Edmund are fighting right after Edmund lost his very young and new bride. So Emma died in childbirth. It was most likely preeclampsia. And things are really tense in this household. Oh my god. So I wouldn't normally have this many funerals, but it just kind of felt right. I feel like both the Prices and the Jungs at this point really need a proper funeral, especially since the Jungs have had so many deaths and they haven't had a funeral yet. So we're having a little church service for Emma, and guys, this death hit me. I feel so terrible because we lost her sister Alma in her first childbirth as well, and we just lost their father in a fire. So, God, these poor families. Okay, it's fine. It's all fine, probably. Anyone else a little bit nervous about playing the Price household next? Like, what else can go wrong? Okay, so we have a really, really small service. It's essentially just the Prices and the Jungs because this is getting a little out of hand, and Mary graces us with a bit of piano playing. Service is over, and we have her grave next to her father's, actually, and 2 lost toddlers for the Jung family. So the Jungs have 4 graves in this church already, which is quite a lot. We've lost no one to old age, but thankfully it looks like people are having some good humor about it. We see some regular funeral antics like playing ball. So Emma is formally laid to rest. It's a really, really hard time for the family. Okay, so I normally wouldn't show you this bird's eye view, but I was surprised because Mary and Edmund started fighting. And Edmund lost again. This is the second fight that poor Edmund has lost. Oh no, they're not best friends anymore? I think Edmund is really lashing out at his siblings. He's fought 2 of his siblings already, but it kind of seems like when they get home from the funeral, he's starting to come around, holding the baby and everything. But Nellie is having none of this fighting. So of course she immediately scolds Jonah. She has to go talk to Mary next, but it seems pretty effective with Jonah because he immediately starts like cleaning. And gosh, I really hate sending Edmund to his bedchambers by himself because this entire room was created with Emma's dowry, and now he has to live there alone and have all of these memories from the last few nights together and their wedding, and he's obviously not taking it well. So this is a new parish in town. It's kind of in our little downtown area, which is currently being built up. This is called St. Anthony's Parish, and it's another fairly small lower middle class parish, but I loved creating it. I actually put this little medicinal garden in, so we have a lot of herbs for like tea and medicine. And again, it's probably midnight, 1 a.m. Mary shows up, and so does Arthur Westerfield. So the 2 are spending some time talking. I think Mary really just needed some level of emotional support since she and her brother are just not getting along, and things are hard at the Jung household. No one is happy. Everyone is upset. Mary just needed to get out of the house and feel loved and supported because she was not getting that from her siblings, and honestly not even really from her mother. So Arthur promises to give her love and support that she needs for the rest of their lives, and the 2 actually tie the knot right on top of these strangers' graves. God, she really is very Mary Shelley, isn't she? So Mary's parents don't actually know that Mary is gone yet. It's early in the morning. They haven't woken up yet. They're just now starting to begin their day. But Mary takes her $300 dowry and combines it with Arthur's $1,200. So they only have about 15,000 simoleons total. That's not enough money. They certainly couldn't buy a whole home. So they rent the little townhome on the left and furnish their house with their money. So it's very shabby. It's very lower class. It's a very unfortunate situation that they have gone and haven't quite told their parents where they are. I mean, the thing is, it's a small town, so her parents are gonna find out. But they did go to a new church, so there was no chance of anyone they knew stumbling upon them. So it's literally just a 2-bedroom townhome. We don't even have a separate room for the bathroom at this point. Their lives begin anew in probably a very hard situation. They're both quite young and without family support, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with them and if either of them are actually able to reconcile with their families. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.